who've had a dreadful World Cup qualifying campaign, but it is a chance for both those guys to find some form. Liverpool paid £225 million combined for those two, Leanne. Why hasn't it worked out so far?
I mean, the Alexander Isak one is an interesting conundrum because he came after not being match fit. Then he was getting brought off at half-time and he's running, you know, box to boxes at the end of the game to get match fit. That seems to have come back and bit him a little bit. But I think the quality is there. We have to also remember with Isak, this is a player that was in Borussia Dortmund's second-string team and Real Sociedad. He only had a couple of good seasons in the Premier League. So this goes back to, you know, there's not many number 9s around and there's a massive premium. I think Ekitike has been excellent for Liverpool. And for Ekitike, it's difficult because Isak then came along when I don't think they realised they were going to get Isak late on. Yeah. I think for Wirtz, I understand. I love the opinions of the pundits because that's why we love football. But to call him a little boy is a little bit strong. You know, he's 22 years old, so he is quite young.
Did he mean there just in terms of he felt it was lacking physicality?
Potentially, but then again, you don't have to be the strongest and the tallest. Look at Šeško. He hasn't got off to the greatest of starts, and he's absolutely massive. So, you know, for me, you don't have to be all quick and massive and strong to have an impact. I think right now, Arne Slot, it's admirable that he's playing him through this moment in time. But for a player that cost 120 mil, coming from Bayer Leverkusen, the pressure is there. Liverpool have obviously lost some top quality players in Luis Diaz. Mo Salah's not performing to the levels we know he can. McAllister. So there's a combination here. A lot of the Liverpool players are underperforming, and those are the players that usually can carry a player like Wirtz through. Whereas those players are struggling this year. So, you know, give him a little bit more time. I think give him a season. But I think right now, almost Arne Slot needs to take him out of the firing line because he's trying to play him through this to get him up to the speed of play, but he doesn't look at it. And it's almost being detrimental to Liverpool, isn't it? Yeah. Playing him through this moment, similar to Kirkes playing, you know, and Szoboszlai playing in the right-back position. So I think these are two good quality players. Regardless of how much money they cost, that goes out the window because, yes, people are going to talk about that, but that's what happened to Harry Maguire when he got to Man United. That was the biggest problem. These players are not saying, I'll be taking that money if they ask for that for me. Do you know what I mean? So forget about the price tag. These are two quality players, and Wirtz hasn't been at it. There's no denying that, but I do think there's this massive pile-on, you know, for this one player that hasn't been at it, but there's a lot of Liverpool players that haven't been at it this season.
But there's a pile on him because he's done nothing in the Premier League. No goal, no assist. Now, you said, you know, give someone a year, but would you not be worried if you're a Liverpool fan and you're almost a third into the season and he's got no goal involvements in the Premier League?
Yeah, there is a concern there, obviously. But like I said, I think sometimes it takes players a little bit longer to get up to the speed of play. No doubt, no goals, no assists is nowhere near good enough for the amount of money they've paid and the quality that they thought they were bringing in. But I think you have to give him a little bit more time. Yeah, there is a concern there. Obviously, Arne Slot didn't want him to be at this moment in time. No goals, no assists. But like I said, this Liverpool side are very different to last year. He's walking into a Liverpool side that is lacking confidence. A lot of their players, their key players, have been underwhelming this year, and that's the reality.
Is he too lightweight for the Premier League, Florian Wirtz?
No, I don't think he is. I mean, Lionel Messi probably got told throughout his whole career. I'm not comparing the two before people try and say that, but people probably told Lionel Messi he was too small. And look at him, you know. So I think you can have that slight ability, you know, you can be small in the Premier League and agile, but it's about, you know, getting up to the speed of play of the Prem. And, you know, the Premier League is unforgiving. You have to be strong, you have to be physically there. And, you know, it just takes players a little bit longer to adjust. That's the reality. I think if you're asking me this question this time next year, it'll be a different conversation.
Yeah. Because he's had his year by then. You said he needs to have a year. Right, Sky Sports have partnered with Finalysis.
We heard a little bit of it there from Gary Neville in our opener, calling Florian Wirtz a little boy yesterday. He said he's been chucked around the pitch. It's very reductive, too reductive to say he's either good or he's not. So why do you think we're not seeing the best of Florian Wirtz at the moment?
I just think it takes players time. And obviously, if he came to a Liverpool team that were in good form, it'd be easy to adjust. At the moment, he's coming to a Liverpool team that are not in good form. I know they're back of beating Real Madrid and Aston Villa. Everyone thought they'd turn the corner. In the first half yesterday, they didn't turn up. There was no intensity. And it was a big call. And I thought it was the right call to play Wirtz in a game like that against Man City, where there'll be space and he can get on the ball and make things happen. But me personally, I still think he will come good. I do think it, but it just depends how much time they are going to give him. They will have to give him time. They paid over 100 million for him. I still think he's an exciting player, but obviously Gary Neville thinks, and he did. He wasn't nowhere near it yesterday. So Gary Neville's 100% spot on. I'm not questioning what he said because he's 100% spot on what he says about Wirtz. But in In the future, I do see him coming good, but at the moment, nowhere near.
Liverpool's ambitious double swoop for Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak was meant to ignite a new era at Anfield, but both stars are still searching for their rhythm in red. With either player fully settling into Arne Slot's system, questions are surfacing about whether the club truly needed to splash such massive fees. SkySportsFC dives deep into the debate, exploring if Liverpool's transfer strategy was driven by necessity, opportunity, or pure desperation to keep pace with England's elite. Yet despite the rocky start, there's a sense of determination within Slot's squad as they aim to reset after the international break. The upcoming clash against Nottingham Forest is shaping into a crucial moment, a chance for Liverpool to put their frustrations behind them and show the spark these signings were meant to deliver. With pressure rising and expectations sky high, the Reds know this could be the turning point that shifts their season's momentum.